Marvin Harrison Jr. entered the league with sky-high expectations, a clean prospect profile, elite pedigree, and the kind of polish that made him one of the safest wide receiver picks in recent memory. In year one, he delivered a solid rookie season, nearly 900 yards and 8 touchdowns, showing off his smooth route running, elite ball tracking, and a natural feel for the position. But not everything was perfect. The Cardinals often utilized him as a deep threat rather than a true alpha, and his after-the-catch ability didn't always pop on film. So today we're breaking down the tape, what he did well, what he could improve, and what it all means for his dynasty value going forward. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Hey.
Before we get into this first play from Marvin Harrison Jr., I want to give you guys a brief overview of him as a player if you guys aren't super familiar with his game. So at 6'3", 205 pounds, Marvin Harrison Jr. was hyped as one of the best wide receiver prospects in recent memory. Coming out of Ohio State, he showed a lot of really high quality assets, like his route running release packages and just ball skills in general. He's a super clean prospect, and he showed that during his rookie season with the Cardinals. Now, guys, he isn't the best athlete. He's solid, and he definitely plays hard and runs fast pretty much every single play, but he doesn't have that top-end speed that I'd like to see. But he did run a 4.46 40. That's an 87th percentile speed score for height and weight adjusted, and he has a 91st percentile catch radius, and he uses that on plays consistently. He's got a huge frame. Now, the Cardinals, they didn't really utilize him the best. They kind of just let him run straight on post routes and 9 routes, and really didn't utilize all of those route running chops that made him so successful at Ohio State. So he had 116 targets, 62 receptions, 885 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns, and he mainly played out wide with over 80% of his snaps being out wide, which I'd like to see him utilize in the slot a little bit more just to make him a little bit more versatile, but I do still value him as my wide receiver 8 in Dynasty, even though he only had a wide receiver 30 finish. So, guys, let's go ahead and get right into this play from Marvin Harrison Jr. So this is basically just a crossing route from Marvin Harrison Jr. and is supposed to be at this depth. That's how this play is supposed to be called. But you're going to see something beautiful from Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to see, I believe, this linebacker get a little bit of depth on his zone here, and it's going to basically kill the route, but you're going to see something beautiful from Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's going to turn this play into a 60-yard touchdown. Watch this. So he's going to snap the ball here. You see him on the crossing route, and I'm going to pause this. He's basically supposed to be coming this way, all the way across the field to try to get open. He sees number 3 there. Watch what he does. Look at that, guys. He basically adjusts his route, he just adjusts the depth, and that's great effort after the catch. He adjusts his depth of the route. He basically cuts it out and starts moving into this huge hole in the zone. Now, that's something that he's super advanced at doing, especially for a rookie in the NFL. He loves finding the soft spots in the zones, and he can get open pretty much on any play. He's very patient with his routes as well. So, beautiful play here from Marvin Harrison Jr. He gets a ton of separation. Then you're going to see him after the catch. You know, he's not the fastest, but that is beautiful effort to get this touchdown, extending himself, putting the ball over the touchdown line, and he gets it into the end zone for a 60-yard touchdown. This is a beautiful play from Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, in this next play, guys, he's running a comeback route, but this play really encapsulates a lot of the things that I love about Marvin Harrison Jr. One being he bursts off the line really well. He's able to run really expert routes, a lot of subtle things in his routes that can really make corners bite. And another thing, his ability to control his body to stay in bounds, kind of like a DeAndre Hopkins in some ways. So, like I said, guys, it's not going to be a crazy fancy route. It's just a comeback to the sticks here. And there's just a little subtle thing that he does about right here into his route. He's going to act like he's going to hitch down or maybe even cut up this way. And this corner is going to be like, oh no, I can't give inside here. And then he's just going to burst upfield instead and come back on this comeback. And you're going to see a lot of separation here. Kyler throws on time, throws with some decent anticipation. Kyler's not my favorite quarterback, but he can throw some really solid throws here and there. But let's go ahead and get right into this play. So you're going to see Marvin Harrison Jr. running pretty fast. That little subtle snap down, boom. Stays in bound for about a 12-yard gain here. So I'm going to break this down a little bit further. So as soon as the ball comes off, he's not, I will say he's bursty off the line, but it's like those first 2 steps aren't the quickest. But once he starts getting those big legs and striding, he is fast, guys. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Nico Collins in that aspect. But you're going to see him boop. And I'm going to show you this one more time. He just stops just for a second, just to make that corner react just enough. Just enough. It doesn't really do a lot on this route, but just those little subtleties in your routes are really important, and it makes the corner overthink the route in a lot of ways. So you're going to see him flip his hips, and Marvin Harrison Jr. as an expert route runner, as soon as he sees the corner, flip those hips and run towards the sideline here because he thinks he's on the fade or the 9 route here. Boom, comes back. I wish the snap down was a little bit faster, but he's 6'3", 205 pounds. You're not going to be able to snap down, at least running at full speed like he's doing here. But he snaps down, gets about 3 yards of separation. Kyler, easy throw here in between the 2 zones here. And that's just a great throw from Kyler Murray and an expert example of how good Marvin Harrison Jr.'s route running is. All right, guys, in this next play from Marvin Harrison Jr., it's just a beautiful display of his release packages. So he doesn't get press covered a lot just because of how big he is and how strong he is. If you guys see any of his pictures from this offseason, he is just a massive human being. So it's hard to press cover this guy, and the Commanders really kind of make a mistake here press covering him, and you're going to see exactly why you don't want to do this. So Marvin Harrison Jr., he's just kind of running a fade here, or kind of like a hybrid fade out route here. And you're going to see a beautiful switch release. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't super familiar with the switch release, but it's basically you're just going to hard commit inside, like you're kind of doing like a drag or, you know, some sort of inside route. And you do see this corner is shaded inside. So he does not want to get beat inside, and a lot of these corners, especially on the goal line, they're going to make the quarterback make hard throws out into this area versus throwing over the middle of the field. So a lot of these corners, like this guy's shaded inside, this guy's shaded inside, basically all 3 of these corners are shaded inside for that very reason. It's easier for them to give up a play on the outside here and make the quarterback make a tough throw versus throwing over the middle where there can be a lot of easier throws like right here and right here before it gets into the linebackers' coverages, right? So you're going to see a beautiful switch release, which, like I said, he's going to fake inside and then explode out to the back pylon. And you're going to see him generate pretty much immediate separation. So let's go ahead and get right into this play. It's short and sweet. So, boom, switch release, cooked him. Beautiful ball, beautiful ball from Kyler again, keeping it away from the defender to where only Marvin Harrison can use that 91st percentile catch radius to his advantage. Boom, away from his frame as well. That's another thing I need to add about Marvin Harrison Jr. Not only is he super tall and big, he can also use his hands very well to basically catch any ball that comes his way. He only had 3 drops on the season, so that's a testament to how good his hands are. So you're going to see switch release, and number 1's just cooked already. He has no chance of getting into this play. It's the easiest touchdown Kyler's probably going to throw all season, so beautiful play from Marvin Harrison Jr., showing off some of those choppy release packages. All right, guys, in this play, it's one of Marvin Harrison's 3 drops on the season, and honestly, this is another good showing for Marvin Harrison. Unfortunately, he doesn't come down with the football, but guys, he just has a knack for finding the most open spots against zone coverage. Not only is he good against man because of how big he is and how good he is in contested catch situations, he is just expertly smart when it comes to finding the holes in the zone and just kind of just navigating himself into those open areas on the field. Obviously, he's been around his Hall of Fame father pretty much his entire life, so he's probably taught him all of the nuances to playing wide receiver, hence why he was one of the cleanest prospects we've ever seen at the wide receiver position. But you're going to see him basically running a sit-down route here, right in the middle of the holes in the zones here, and he's going to be wide open. Kyler does throw a little bit of a bad ball here, but it's definitely catchable, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about here. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is running, and you see he's not the fastest, and it's another thing. He runs at full speed sometimes, but he doesn't run it every single play. He does run it every single play if he needs to, but sometimes he's just not running full speed because of the way the timing of the route works. And this is one of those things. So it's on play action, so he can't be running the route too fast because he wants to be on time with his quarterback, Kyler Murray. And he kind of is here. So you're going to see him sit down as soon as Kyler Murray is at the top of his drop. And you obviously see Marvin Harrison is in the middle of three defenders that are nowhere near ready to make a play on this ball. So this is a great play design from the Cardinals, and you see Kyler Murray throws it, and he throws it a little bit to Marvin Harrison's left, which still, it hits you in the hands. Like I said, the saying, if it hits you in the hands, you need to come down with it. And Harrison just doesn't really haul that one in. He makes that catch probably 9 times out of 10. It's not the best ball from Kyler Murray. Great route from Marvin Harrison. Comes back to the ball as well, which is something important. He's not a statue after his route. The ball's coming his way, he's going to work back towards it. But super clean stuff from Marvin Harrison Jr., but just really needs to come down with that ball. All right, guys, before we get into this last play from Marvin Harrison Jr., which isn't the best showcasing of his skill set, I wanted to kind of go over some of my notes of him while I was watching his film, just to give you guys a basic idea of how I think of Marvin Harrison Jr. as a player. So first things first, he's got amazing footwork and releases. You'll see that in this play particularly as well. He's got insane route running polish. I mean, he doesn't run any of his routes poorly. I think all of his routes are simply just amazing, even if he doesn't generate the best separation on each and every rep. He plays with great effort, especially when he's needed to run on these vertical routes to clear the safeties out. I know that's not great for his fantasy outlook, but he is superb at doing that. Running full speed is very dangerous with him. He has very reliable hands as well. He only had 3 drops on the season, like I said. And you can't press cover him. He's too strong and too big to press cover him. I know in this play you see Terrion Arnold playing close to him like he's going to press, but you're going to see how that works out for him. It's not very good. He gets released up for sure. Now, some of the negatives. He has limited top speed. You know, he's not going to be breaking these 80-yard touchdowns after the catch like Jameson Williams is, or somebody like that. He's not like a true deep burner after the catch. And speaking of his yak ability is very limited. I mean, he reminds me a lot of like DeAndre Hopkins or like a Tyler Lockett, a guy that's not going to be getting a lot of yak yards at all. But he does generate really good contested catching ability, but his yak ability is just very below average in my opinion. But that's really not his type of skill set as a wide receiver. So moving forward, let's go ahead and look at this play. So he's basically going to be doing a diamond release here and then up on the seam route to try to get open in between these two safeties. Well, although the route's really good, he doesn't generate a lot of separation, and Kyler throws a back shoulder throw that I think is catchable for Marvin Harrison Jr., but he just doesn't bring it down. It's not necessarily a drop because Terrion Arnold does make a really good play on the football, but it's just something that I think Marvin Harrison could have just generated a little bit more separation and came down with this ball, because this is a big play if he brings this football in. So you're going to see a beautiful release from Marvin Harrison Jr. at the bottom of your screen here. Diamond release, boom, boom. Outside release on this 9 route, and Kyler Murray does throw him the back shoulder. And, you know, I just wish he would be a little more physical pushing off Terrion Arnold. I will say Terrion Arnold is a great corner, even though he didn't have any interceptions last season. He did have, I think, 10 pass defenses, which is very good. You're going to see him try to push him off, hand fight him a little bit, and he just doesn't come down with this football. I think he does every now and then come down with this football, but I just need him to be a little bit more physical at the top of his routes to come down with this football, because this is a beautiful back shoulder throw from Kyler Murray, and he just doesn't come down with it. But, you know, anyways, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great wide receiver, but he just needs to clean that up a little bit. Marvin Harrison Jr. might not have had the massive rookie breakout some were hoping for, but the foundation is clearly there. He's polished, dependable, and already a key piece of that Cardinals offense. The question now is whether Arizona will evolve his role, because if they do, his upside in Dynasty is still wide receiver 1 territory. Let me know in the comments how you're valuing MHJ heading into year 2. Are you holding firm, buying the dip, or selling high? And as always, if you've enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in. More rookie film studies dropping every single week right here on Bobby's Big Board. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.